Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour podcast.
Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 263. Thank you for joining us tonight. For those of you on the YouTube side, you are seeing that we are together.
Jim, you're here.
Oh, wonderful. I missed that so much. But yeah, we recorded a bunch of stuff that will be coming in the next couple weeks. So, yeah. One of these episodes. You know what that means? Technical problems. Guaranteed by the end of this shit. It happens every freaking time.
Be prepared. Jim finally delivered on allowing us to record the Dragon Ball Z tier list. And
only 3 months late.
And so by the time you're seeing this, it's a Friday. You will probably see this next week. My goal is to have it early next week. Yeah, it's probably going to piss a lot of people off. But maybe it won't. I don't know.
You tell me. It might be impressive for a guy who's never watched Dragon Ball.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see your thoughts when you watch it. And as I've said before in multiple videos, there's going to be a lot more of those. I have a lot of ideas for Jim. I want him to see some things. I want us to be able to go back to some franchises and maybe do tier lists that Jim and I have a lot of experience with. Either way, it is a fun way to just get our reactions of things. And we were also able to record a review of Toyland Wonderland. So,
yep, one of our Patreon reviews. So we will be getting to that. We have a few more, so before we get into the usual stuff, quick bit of housekeeping. We alluded to it last week on the episode, but we appeared on the PlayStation Collectors podcast with good old Joe Rad, so we actually had a hell of a time doing it. He's a brave man for doing it live, but yeah, it was a super fun time. Where I got to nerd out about horror for like at least half of it. I got to nerd out with porno games for like a good quarter of it, so a little bit of everything for everyone.
There was a competition. Not that it matters. Not Jim.
Handheld your dick to victory.
Hey, the Irish stick together.
Crap. Jim. He just grabbed it, stroked it, led you across the finish line.
Here's the deal.
Bullcrap.
It was also some bullshit. You started it off. You got conquer. You got easy. You got some real easy layups of questions. All right. So I don't want to hear it. Just like with Tetris 99.
Not my fault you have to be baby dick to a friggin' Mortal Kombat ad. Crap.
But here's the deal. Just like with Tetris 99, where Jim made the...
I was not getting cocky.
No. You'll watch. Jim, he gets the first question. He answers right. And he says, fuck you, Bri. So...
I say fuck you, Bri, at everything.
But he's...
Literally everything.
He started it.
You could make good spaghetti and I would still say fuck you, Bri.
But you know, then you're just revving up the engine. You know what you do. Jim, by the way.
So guess how that turned out.
So watch the episode for no spoilers at all. It was a great time and it was live, and he did say they had a really good viewership during it, so it was awesome. Yeah. If any of you were watching, we appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed to him. Make sure you check out his channel, follow him on Twitter. Yeah, I really enjoyed myself, and we already told him
in the future.
100%. So really, really fun time. But Chambers, we're finally back in a more steady swing of things. So what have you been up to this past week? I know it was Father's Day, but have you been able to game this week anymore? Did you save any more of the Commonwealth?
I did do a little bit more. So I was like, I have such a long list in Fallout of all these missions. I'm like, fuck, what? I'm like 33 hours in. What are the story missions? I'm at the point where I just want to get it done. Little did I realize. So I looked up a fact of the story missions and what was next in line. Bri, I am currently on the 3rd story mission in the game.
I believe it.
So I probably have another good at least 20 hours coming to me in this shit.
Oh yeah,
Wonderful.
But Jim, the goal. Here's the deal.
I mean, I'm woefully overpowered right now, so I at least have that going for me.
Here's the deal. We've talked about it. You've given up on doing 24. You've given up on franchises.
Yes.
So you have no rush. You have no true backlog. You have no...
I do have homework. I got to do 2 more Patreon reviews. We got to do those.
But both games are woefully short. I'll say that.
Thankfully short, not woefully.
So, well, you know what I mean. So I would say enjoy yourself, Jim. That's what you're supposed to do with games.
I am enjoying myself. And then I want to do something else. Speaking of doing something else I can never do, but I did do a little bit of it. More Tetris. More third places. Couple third places. Do you know how much of a goddamn cock tease third place is? How much? Here's the story you'll love, Brian. So we're playing. I'm sitting there playing, and we're waiting on food delivery to come. And like I'm rolling in this game. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. So it was Father's Day. We ordered out. The delivery came. So my wife was like, "Do you got the dog?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I got the dog." So door opens. Dog goes running. So I just throw the switch down, grab the dog by his collar. As that's happening, my phone that was on the ledge next to me decides to perfectly fall off and nail me in my right ball. So while she's playing, I'm holding on to my dog, watching this perfect game I had going just lose right in front of me, doubled over in pain. And I went, this is my life. This really sums up my life with Tetris 99. There's never been a better picture in the world of me doubled over, clutching my balls in pain, watching my life just flash away from me.
I was just about to ask, what would, we know your rage, and I know young Jimmy Wimmy used to throw a lot of things. Do you think if something like your dog knocked, say it was you and one person left, and you got a perfect, I'm gonna hit him with a long piece and get those blocks, and his nose came over, hit the switch, and it instantly made you lose. But Jim, so if you were in that situation and Miller hit that out of your hands, what would take it for you to throw your switch in anger?
Oh, I wouldn't be throwing my switch. Right, I think I can handle a week of my daughter crying, going, "What happened to Miller?" And I go, "I don't know. He ran off. I don't know what happened." Daddy tried to find him. Let's go for a drive and see if we can find him.
What if that issue with the Switch where don't some of them fail?
Oh yeah, the Joy-Cons.
What if it failed at that moment?
Luckily, I don't really touch the analog stick for when you're playing that, so
true.
I'm
trying to think, what if...
But no, I'd be the meme of just breaking it in half at that point, probably. Or I would just cry. I would probably just cry. Really.
At this
I'm
point...
too cheap to break things. I would cry.
At this point, would beating this be the crown jewel of gaming achievement for you?
No. I wouldn't enjoy it. I would just go, good. Finally. That's all I want is to just say good.
Jim, you have to enjoy.
No, I can't enjoy anything. Life is hell. Every day I wake up and go, why? I don't get to enjoy my victories, Brian. It's just nothing but strife. Look at me. I'm Brian. I log in and I get 14 wins in a goddamn row. I'm 700 tries in and I'm still not even remotely close. No, there's no enjoyment for when it's done.
But Jim, theoretically,
no.
Every game, it's not a matter of racking up games to get you close. Every game is just as close as the last. I'm trying to help you with the logic.
Both does and doesn't make me feel better.
So say you wiped your Switch clean and you started with a 0 record. It'd be the same as having 700, Jim.
just with more dignity.
I think I can't. I'm telling you, the problem at this point now is you care too much. You want it too much.
Yep.
That's all. You know what? It's just like the old adage of why do girls hit on you when you're married more or you go to a club? It's because you don't care.
Yeah, the pussy's on a pedestal. That's for goddamn sure. That is for goddamn sure.
So, you know what? Stop putting the Tetris pussy on a pedestal.
Well, it's June. Time to go gay and win some Tetris. Let's fucking go.
Jim, okay. Follow up. What would you do? Let's say your wife is not a good gamer. What if she picked up Tetris and won it on your device first time? Would there be divorce papers?
Not because I'd want to, but I'd almost have to. Because that's one of those things that you never would hear ever hear.
Oh no, you would have to do it for your sanity
for the rest of my life. Luckily, my unhealthy lifestyle means it wouldn't be that long, but it would still have to be with the time I have left. I don't think I could do that.
I told you, I'm rooting for you. I keep giving you advice. Do it in the toilet. No music. I guarantee if
no music helps. No music helps.
Yeah, and do it in the bathroom. That's your Zen place, Jim. That's your flow state. All right.
Maybe I should just have the bidet running on me the entire time I'm playing. That's really when I'm at my happiest for the most part.
That's what I'm saying. Find your happy place.
Just sitting there purring like a baby seal.
Just tap it in, Jim. Well, like you, I have now dived back into the Commonwealth. I think I'm like 6 hours in. Yeah, I love that game. Although I did have mods. Are you running any mods with yours?
No.
Okay, so I turned it off because they gave major updates, I think, since a show and other shit. It's funny, we've talked about how I've never run into bugs. The only thing I run into bugs is I don't have any mods running because of the updates. They actually removed them all, and I said, let me just start it fresh. When I go into my vets, even if someone's completely in a building, it somehow like aims to them. I can't hit them. Like, it'll show them as zeros, but I'm saying like through solid walls.
It shows they're like detected, but yeah, you can't do anything.
Yeah, which I don't remember having that before. But I'm like, okay. So that's the only thing. Obviously, love the game though.
Yeah, I really haven't hit bugs in this playthrough, but my game crashes all the goddamn time.
That's just your system, I think.
Maybe because like once a playthrough, once a night playing there, at very least once every if I play for 3 hours, it's going to crash at least once.
Yeah, like I said, through my initial playthrough, it never crashed on me. I said the only glitch I ran into is a mission I could never, even though I did all the steps, it like bugged out and I never could get a completion for it. But when we were talking to Joe, one of the games he was mentioning, Street Cleaners, something Cleaners, the one where you have to clean up crime scenes.
Oh, yeah.
So when we were talking, it sparked my interest right away. Very Miami.
Vice?
No. That game.
Party Hard.
Party Hard, but the Miami one.
Miami Hard.
No, you
Party
know what
Miami.
I'm saying. The one you like to play. That.
Oh, Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like kind of a top-down isometrical. You play as someone who cleans up kills for the mob, and like you got to go through a crime scene. There's cops and people walking around, so you got to be sneaky. Those games just click with me, so I've put a lot of time into that. It's really fun, and I'm just kind of like casually enjoying it. But yeah, I don't know. I think I like those games more than I give them credit for, because I loved Party Hard. That game was super fun. So if you like that style game, definitely give it a try. I'm playing it on Steam, and it's on sale now. So yeah, that's kind of been my go-to.
Nice.
So Chambers, the other reason I'm excited you're here with me is I was able to finally get the variety pack of the Hard Mountain Dew. Now, we've been talking about this. I think it's been out for like 2 years at least.
Has it been that long?
It's been a long time, but it wasn't
never
available.
been around here.
So a few weeks ago, I saw that it was coming to PA, and once a week I'll go to the beer store, and I talked to the one guy, and I was like, "Hey, are you guys getting that?" He's like, "Yeah, we're not sure when." So I left it alone this past weekend, went to the store, and boom, it's sitting there. So I got the variety pack that had like the original green, Baja, an orange, and I think watermelon. There's another variety pack that are like different versions of Baja Blast. So I started us off with the old classic, it's just hard Mountain Dew, 0 sugar. So it's classic green, 5% alcohol. As Jim and I are trying to figure out.
You'll see the pictures on the socials.
Yeah, I think it is kind of like Not Your Father's Root Beer, where it's just a straight up hard soda. What I'm getting from it, even though it says 0 sugar, is it does taste sweet.
It's funny that it's only 100 calories per like can.
That's insane.
Which, yeah, because regular Mountain Dew is like one of the most like high calorie sodas out there.
Yeah.
It tastes like a flat Mountain Dew.
That's what I was gonna say. It tastes like Mountain Dew, but yes, surprisingly very, very flat.
Yeah, it's like it's not in that vein of Diet Mountain Dew, but it's still like flat in its own way. It's weird.
Yeah, it's
and 5% alcohol, which is pretty standard.
It's fine. And I will say, as I'm pouring out the Baja Blast right now, they are very color appropriate.
Looks like Baja Blast.
So
looks like Taco Bell.
What I suggested to Chambers is I'm saving 4 cans of each flavor from the variety pack. I want us to get the other variety pack and do a big blind taste of all of them. One, see if we can figure them out, see if what we think is right. Yeah, it's actually much clearer than even a Baja Blast.
Yeah, I mean, it is just like a soda. There's no lacing. There's no head. It pours like a soda.
A little stronger flavor than the first one, but once again, it's surprisingly flat. So, would I ever get it again? No. This was like I wanted to try it for us, gamers and kids that grew up on Mountain Dew.
I mean, it says the ultimate gamer fuel. Have to do it.
Yeah, so if you've ever tried it, I want to hear what you guys think, but
maybe it needs Doritos.
It might need some Doritos. You're not wrong. I mean, the real question is when we do Call of Duty this year, do you need to have this? Kind of kill two birds with one stone. Instead of soda and Doritos and beer, you just do this.
I mean, when you're right, you're right. Now I gotta save up for a fucking new Xbox. So.
Jim, just call it an early Christmas present. Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, I might as well.
But Chambers, now that
she always buys me gifts when I say don't buy me stuff anyway, so.
Yeah, just force it to be something you really, really want. That's all. Come on. Everybody wins.
Just something more expensive than I need. That's wonderful. That's great.
Jim, you can't take your money with you when you're dead.
But I need it now.
Nah.
I have bills.
Bills, you can't take them with you either.
Goddamn two-party system keeps the IRS around. Bullshit. Not in my America.
Well, Chambers, as we mentioned earlier, we did get together, finish off one of the Patreon reviews. So what questions do we have this week from our awesome patrons? And thank you all once again for all the support.
Patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame. Where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we'll be answering on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. So only one question this week, but oh, is it a doozy? From Brian Reese, what are your thoughts on the current landscape of gaming journalism and loonies like Alyssa Mercanti? Oh, Christ.
You know, we've covered a lot of these gaming journalists. I won't even raise my hands to do the quotations because I don't want to fuck up my camera.
How do you talk like such a dago when you're like, I'm Irish, I'm Brian, I'm Irish, I'm Brian. Blah, 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 blah.
When you grow up in the OC, it's very diverse, Jim.
Don't let you OC me.
All right. But yeah, here's the deal. I don't look at this article. Is it annoying to begin?
Here's one example that we have linked below. She's a senior editor at Kotaku. So, all right. Backstory. So, this actually came in before this article, and this article created a shitstorm as of today's recording on the 18th, because, fucking course it did at this point. So, she is a senior editor at Kotaku. When all of this sweet baby...
Jim did the motion.
I did the thing. I did the meme.
You keep talking. Go ahead. I can adjust it as you talk.
So when this whole Sweet Baby situation came up and like Grums really took off with his current grift and everything like that, and the whole, Sweet Baby ain't detected and all the issues with Kotaku, she was a very vocal person who was just like, anyone who is, going against Sweet Baby and stuff like that is just an online chud and a Nazi and a misogynist and stuff like that.
Wait, hold on. Let me interrupt. Is chud a bad term?
Yeah.
I only know it as
It means it's right-wing, misogynist, racist, like kind of all rolled into one.
I thought that was Chad.
No, Chad is when like you're an alpha male, when you're awesome.
I hate these fucking terms. Stop
you
ruining...
You want to be a Chad, don't want to be a chud.
Here's my problem. Don't besmirch the 80s classic chud or chud 2 You don't know what chud is?
No!
It's the underground dwellers. Come on. It's an 80s classic, Jim. It's a horror movie. Come on. Go on, chud.
It's time like this when it feels like I'm talking to myself with my useless knowledge. So, she's been a part of these arguments like from day one, and like the people who are like pro being against Sweet Baby Inc. and pro Grums and all that stuff, and the Gamergate tours. Like, she used to have an OnlyFans, so they get her for that. Like, she has tattoos on herself that says like all men or something like that. It's a line from Animal Farm apparently, and they're all just like, she's this radical feminist, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
And like, she's been getting into near constant fights all the time with Grums and Smash JT and 8-Bit Eric, because they keep throwing themselves into this whole thing and tagging Grums and everything. To the fact, so Smash JT started to run his own list of like, he started his own petition called like End Kotaku, because he thinks like ending Kotaku will like save gaming and save gaming journalism. I don't really buy into that. I think it's just his own attention getter, but he's keeping a list of like all these like people, editors at Kotaku, and people who used to work at Kotaku, and all their various kind of controversies over the year.
Yeah, and we've covered enough on Kotaku that they definitely, whether it's the editor, the person themselves, they throw these titles out there that are crazy. Or you could tell someone who's writing it just to get attention, not because they care about a game or a game review. It's like, I'm going to make a statement.
Right, yeah, and like their PlayStation 5 review and crap like that.
Yeah.
So, like, he's got a lot of this stuff going on. And I guess he was getting into it with Alyssa, and Smash is also, like, he doesn't vet his shit. So, like, anyone who, like, uses this hashtag free Kotaku, he'll just, like, quote tweet and be like, yeah, another one for the cause. And one of them that he did was this, like, psycho guy. I forget his name, but, like, he made a video where he, like, slapped Alyssa Mercanti's face into, like, VR and made a little VR game called Assassinate Alyssa Mercanti.
So someone very stable.
Yeah, it's very stable. And if you watch his videos, it's just, like, this fever dream of just, like, just right-wing Joe Biden's the devil, blah, 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 whatever.
Huh.
I watched one thing and I was just like, oh, Smash, fucking vet your shit, dude. But, so, because he's promoting stuff like this, Alyssa decided to, like, this is what these game journalists do. They can't, like, take an easy win. They have to fuck it up. Because what she decided to do was to take this stuff, which is just stupid online crap, really. And I mean, I get, like, if he's making a site saying in Kotaku, he's trying to go after her livelihood. Because it's what it is for all the people who work there.
Yeah.
So she sent screenshots of everything he's promoting in this Assassinate Alyssa thing. She looked up his wife's info on Facebook and messaged his wife going, look what your husband's doing on Twitter. So it's like, that's a step over the line to try to, like, ruin his family over this.
But, like, does she think his wife doesn't know he does this shit?
Maybe not. I don't think she's very online. Like, he will post selfies with her all the time, but, like,
yeah, I was going to say, it seems like
I don't think she's on Twitter. I don't think she knows, like, the depths of what she does. Or maybe she does. I don't know.
But I mean, this is me being out of the loop.
Yeah.
It sounds like what Alyssa sent her was basically him in these petitions, right?
Not just petitions, but him, like, promoting people saying he's going to kill a woman and, like, all the like, there are misogynist things when people are saying fuck Kotaku.
But it's not, Jay, you're saying the person that he's promoting and she's showing, hey, this person's a fucking psycho and your husband promoted him, basically.
Yeah, I forget what the exact thing
is.
But, like, he's also been getting into fights with, like, the guy who originally went after the person who did the Sweet Baby Detected for him.
Yeah.
Like, the whatever journalist there or a person from Sweet Baby went after that. That same guy wound up contacting one of Smash's old jobs, trying to get him in trouble at said old job.
Yeah, see, all right. So
all of this shit with anything Gamergate right now, and this, like, world between Kotaku and, like, the gaming, like, I don't know.
It's here's my ultimate problem.
Like
these
gamer
drama people, you can't sit there and throw stones unless you're squeaky clean. And this is one where I'm not saying Alyssa was right or wrong. I'm saying if you open yourself up to what Jim said, you're calling for someone. There's a difference between calling out and saying, like, whatever, she's a shitty journalist, whatever you want to say. But then if you're making a petition, doing these things, you've now tied yourself to it. And
they hopped on a hate train. Like him, 8-Bit Eric, they hopped on, like, the quartering light kind of hate train, same kind of, like, thing for views.
Yeah.
Like, nothing else really worked, and they're getting more views than they've ever gotten right now.
But that's the problem, right?
But,
like you're getting it negatively.
You can't cry victim if you're promoting a video that says, I'm going to kill this girl. And she does something, throws something back to you, where you say, I want to end your job, and she calls your job. To me, I'm just kind of like,
I don't look at either of them as victims.
Yeah, like
you
like you're like fence sitting and saying you're both wrong, but, like, no, you're both legitimately, like, doing things that are terrible.
Yeah,
and, like, making your equal sides look awful. And, like,
here's the deal:
be normal. Why can't any of you be normal?
If you want to be in that realm, you stay an arm's length away, though, by saying, hey, I think her reviews are terrible. Like, give a legit criticism of her work. If you're starting to try and make a petition to say, get people from Kotaku fired, all right.
Like, she doesn't help herself because she's a loudmouth, because, like, she's going on, like, one of these game developer conferences, like roundtables, and like looking at the camera and being like, I want to fight you guys in real life, like shit like that.
Well, she sounds like a jackass too.
Right.
I'm saying
And
like they're all jackasses, but they're like, yeah, like you start throwing dirt and then you're mad that someone threw it back. I mean, Jim, you know me.
Oh yeah.
If you start fucking with me, I'm not going to respond in kind. I'm going to come over the top. Probably go a little too extreme, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I feel like that's what she did in messaging his wife, which is if you involve a family, like that's where I'm always like, yeah, you're going way too far. And as someone who's not online, like, yeah, like I wouldn't handle any of that shit well. I'm just saying though, it seems like Smash has been on this path of dive deep into the drama, call people out, and it's getting on views. And it's like, it's kind of like that's how he's grinding. But yeah, people are gonna start doing this back to you, and it's not good.
I can't. Like we have people who are friends with Smash, and like I don't care who's friends with who. Like I'm not saying this is any kind of moratorium or stuff, but like yeah, he can't do what he's doing and not expect pushback in one way or another.
And also,
I think taking it to real life is taking it too far. But like, guess what? You can say it's all internet shit, but when their job is the internet and you're making a petition to end their job, that's fucking with their real life too.
I also think Alyssa sounds pretty terrible herself. And as we've talked about with a lot of Kotaku or gaming journalists in general, they're annoying as shit. They're just turning like their Twitter rants into full page reviews and trying to insert shit that has nothing to do with gaming. And it's annoying as hell. And you should be able to say that as well.
Yeah.
Should you get them fired? No. Maybe don't make it more clickbaitable and stop interacting with it to help.
Like you don't have to respond to every like 10,000 follower account on Twitter. Like you're the senior editor at Kotaku. You don't have to do that. But you want to look like you're fighting against the trolls and misogynists and whatever. So like she's bringing it on herself. They're bringing it on themselves. So let's tie it all back before we have to talk about these people anymore to this Elden Ring DLC review. And she starts it off with like basically 2 paragraphs basically saying her headspace, saying I've spent the last 4 months being attacked by a misogynist and racist and blah 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 blah. And then she's like, so my time fighting through this kind of felt like what I'm fighting through in real life. And it's kind of just like like, I can respect it a reviewer who like she had like 4 days to get this review out. She got it on the 12th and she published it today, but it needs time to be edited and crap like that.
Sure.
And it's a 20-hour DLC, so she had to blast through it. Stuff like that. So I can respect kind of wanting to start with like what your headspace is in, but it's also like you also don't have to, because it's like she must have known it was going to incite all this backlash that she's getting right now too. Which like I think this is the weakest backlash ever. Like they're like, oh, this is the worst review of all time and shit like that, and it's really not. Like, you could be annoyed by the first 2 paragraphs, but the rest of the review is like 8 paragraphs of her detailing her entire journey through the DLC and how she played it.
See, and that was my takeaway was, this is someone who's really
Eric
played
and Smash
it.
Here just talking about the first 2 paragraphs and saying, oh, this is woke garbage. It's like, come on, guys.
Which, okay. Yes, those first 2 paragraphs, were they needed? No, but there's clearly an audience. The same way we talked about, and we even talked about this with Joe, is like there's a sense of, is there people out there who are just hate reading, hate watching?
Oh, yeah. That's what gets the clicks these days.
So, honestly, her main audience might be people just looking to hate on her, but to her, it don't matter because it still clicks and it's engagement and whatever.
Yeah. That's why they take tame articles and turn them into most salacious headlines. It's all about getting fucking clicks and views. Hate sells. So...
Listen, as a writer, she's a writer.
That's what the chuds are doing. That's what the wokies are doing, and they're just fucking...
There's something to be
all
said.
Rage bait. It's all rage bait. That's all it is.
There's something to be said. Everyone can have their own writing style. Maybe people like her enough that they want to hear about her headspace. I believe sometimes just suffer in silence. If you think you're suffering that bad, you don't need... In a review for a DLC of Elden Ring, is that the place to open up when you already have Twitter? Like... Couldn't that just be on your Twitter? Like, couldn't you write those 2 paragraphs on Twitter and then say, and here's a review of Elden? Like, so I see the complaint that if you're going in there, what I'd be interested in is people like 8-Bit Eric and Smash Do they even play Elden Ring? Do they play the DLC? Or did they literally click on that because they knew she published it and they were looking for it? Or did somebody say, hey, look at this shit she posted? Like, if you went looking for the bullshit, I can't respect that. But if you were like literally like, ooh, I want to read someone's take on Elden Ring, and then that turned you off, I could get the frustration.
I mean, they're both gamers, but they both definitely just went there for the hate.
Yeah. So at the end, knock it off with all the drama shit. Alyssa, Smash, just kiss already. Get it over with. Like, come on.
Get that tension out of there.
Just, that's what it is. This is like, yeah, this is grade school, like throwing paper at each other. Knock it off. Grow up. Drink beer. Drink Mountain Dew. Baja Blast. Beat Tetris 99. Do the things that matter.
I hate being the internet guy. I hate that I see all these back and forths. I hate it.
I love this.
I want your bliss, Brian. I want your bliss of never being on there.
It is.
Never seeing all this back and forth shit.
You know, and here, you know what I will say is, because of you and connections and shit that comes across, I know I'm only seeing it because of connection with our account. And there is that moment. It's the same as like when you're doom scrolling or whatever, when you're like, ooh, there's a street fight. Like, let me watch it. And then you still see it. Like, when I go down those rabbit holes, it is entertaining. Like, ooh, who said what? Like, what's this drama? I get it. It pulls you in. But then I got to remember, I'm like, I don't know these fucking people. I don't know anything about these people. I know not like, but there's instinctually, you start siding with someone and then you start looking down that. So I get it. It's addictive as shit.
It's very easy to get into team sports.
It really is. So, yeah, listen, Smash.
And for the overall state of game journalism, I mean,
it's a joke.
We've said it before. Like, 90% of it is just regurgitating press releases. Like, very few people do real journalism.
No.
And like the ones who do real journalism hate us. So, well, hate me because of Twitter. But I mean,
if it wasn't for our site, let's put it this way: neither one of us would ever open a video game article to read a review on a game. The only time I would genuinely open up a video game article is to see like, what's the latest release for this, or what's a showcase. Like, I would not do it for...
You know when I open up a lot of reviews, I don't do it before the game comes out. I do it after I play it. Because after like I finish a game, I like always like deep dive into it. Like, I want to read what like other people thought of it, or like if there was something I kind of missed from it, shit like that. That's when I'm like most interested to do it. So like everything I do it ass backwards.
Well, see, I agree with that. But honestly, I try to go out of my way. If I really like a game, I try to figure out what did people not like about it. Yeah. So I'll do the inverse of like, instead of saying like, why did everyone hate the Punisher on PS2? Like, I want to see, did you hate that game? Like, why would you hate this game?
Right.
Whereas like, I love the shit out of it. So I try to figure out, why would you not agree with my opinion?
Yeah. And like, it's weird right now that like, where like people just invent arguments too, because like we're gonna get to it later, like talk about the Nintendo Direct that was this morning. That's why we recorded a day late, because we're like, oh, that'll be news, and oh boy is it. But like the Zelda game that they announced, like all the accounts that like normally would be like that everyone would assume would say is going to be like, oh, you know, they wokeified Zelda or some dumb shit like that. Like Grumps himself was just like, hey, this looks cool. You get to play Zelda. It's something different. Awesome. Now, maybe it's just him being smart enough to try and not do the meme, but he's like, yeah, there are cool games with women coming out. Like, it's not just women being in games that's the problem, that kind of deal. And then, like, a lot of people on the left are just like, oh, I can't wait for the Zelda went woke articles to come out.
So they're searching hard for any negative criticism of it, and they're gonna be like, see, they're saying the shit we said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like RoccoBot of like Mega 64 just had like this amazing like troll article basically saying that. He's like, oh, it looks like even Zelda's not safe from going woke. And like some account like fell for the bit.
Of course.
It was like literally no one's saying it. And he's like, I just said it. Like, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something to that counterculture of, I'm trying to be edgy by saying the thing that people expect someone to say, but it was all a joke. I'm like, yeah, but if you do that enough, it's not a joke. Like, there's not a joke anymore. Like, you're in on it, and you obviously had those thoughts enough to write the article that way.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, it's literally like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like the easiest thing you can go to.
Sure, yeah.
You don't have to believe something that obvious.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. When it comes, but to round out the Patreon question, when it comes to game journalism, just figure out who you like, but realize if you're going to insert any personal thoughts that even touch the realm of politics, religion, society, you're going to piss off a whole group of people. And these drama channels, there's enough drama channels for fucking YouTube drama, but gamer drama people, knock that shit off, dude. I know the engagement's there. I know it can pay bills. It can only lead to the shit some of these people are going through, which is it comes back to you, and now they're going to include your family. And that shit, do you really want a headache over fucking Elden Ring DLC? No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to be like, like how insane is it that this person's going after my family, but it's like, you also can look and be like, well, why are they doing this?
There's no rules in war or fighting or online bullshit.
Yeah, I will say going to the family is too far, but it's also like you're not helping the case.
It's relative. I mean, it's all relative, right? You slap me in the head, I'm gonna turn around and kick you in the dick.
Basically.
Don't be mad. You hit first.
Well, you're a classic one-upper.
I've admitted that. I said I'm not. There's a reason why I had to get brought to my teachers when a kid would mess with me. They're like, yeah, but he made him bleed. Like, he did really bad. And I'm like, yeah, but he started it. Like, I justified it with, like, he drew first blood, not me. You know me, Jim. Just don't fuck with me. If you fuck with me, then you know what's going to happen.
I've learned that lesson many times.
But no, thank you for the question. We really appreciate it. Obviously, I think Kotaku is always going to be a well of negativity and bullshit that comes from their writers, editors, and reactions.
And look, I mean, Square Enix doesn't send them anything. Nintendo doesn't send them anything. They're blacklisted by major companies for a reason.
Yeah.
Because they're a pain in the ass company to deal with. I selfishly love them because they provide infinite content for a podcast like this. So I never want them to go away.
Yeah.
They need to stay around for me.
So yeah, make sure, guys. Last week I know we had a reservoir of questions just because we had a backlog, but make sure get your questions in each week. Doesn't have to be game related or beer related. You've asked food questions, movie questions, whatever you want to ask us. We always appreciate it because we want to hear from you guys, and thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, Chamber. Don't you miss my clap?
Oh, I missed the claps.
And when we do it over the thing, I have the earphones in, so I don't even notice it, but it is loud.
Oh, you don't say.
What, you don't like me hurting your tinnitus?
I don't have tinnitus. I just have damage. I have like no protective layer in this ear anymore.
That's what happens when you're in a band.
From years of drumming.
Yeah.
From years of being next to you with your goddamn claps. 10 years of this bullshit. From 14 years of having my wife sit in the car next to me. Because she is not a quiet girl in the car.
I was going to say, that's been the biggest damage to your ears.
2 or 3 weeks ago when it was me, your wife, and my wife in the car, and it's them going back and forth next to me, even my wife was eventually just like, this is hell for Jim right now. It was just...
Jim,
straight.
Even you.
I just heard my voice.
Of all of our friends, I would say vocally, you just have a really high register. Like, you are naturally loud, but since being with Sandy, your volume on average has gone, like, I'm like, why is he? And then I'm around, I'm like, oh, he's just got to speak up to be heard. And when her and the sisters get together, I'm like, was there never just, hey, can you pass this? It's so loud because they're always talking over each other. And when all you three fucks are drunk together and I have to drive you, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's impressive. The volume. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah. And for as much as I like talk and can yap on this podcast, in real life, I barely talk anymore. I have no social skills at all anymore. I'll have a zinger here and there. I'm better in group settings.
Yeah.
One-on-one with me. Good luck.
If you see us at too many games, here's the deal. People think because Jim is a Twitter guy, he's going to be Mr. Talkative. He's way more quiet.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's probably doing 90% of the talking in person. And, but you will hear his volume. If he gets going,
I'm going to get going. We know I'm going to get going.
But yeah, Chambers, what are you thinking of Baja Blast so far?
It's fine.
I think it's a little better than the green one.
It's better than the green. Yeah.
So I actually moved on to watermelon. So this is very pink. it reminds me of a Jolly Rancher, a pink watermelon Jolly Rancher. It's a lot more flavorful than both of them, but I don't know if I like it more. It just has more flavor, if that makes sense.
This is a very mixed bag.
Yeah. But Chambers, last week we covered Xbox Showcase, which is one of the, I think, the best showcases they've had. And debatably, like you said, the reason why we pushed this off till tonight instead of Monday night is the Nintendo Showcase.
I saw Nintendo Direct and I went, Bri, we're delaying it. We're waiting.
And I would argue they finally delivered after years of bullshit.
Hell of a Direct. Hell of a Direct.
So there's a lot they covered. Now, we're not going to cover every single one. We'll cover the major ones. You already touched on it, so I figure it's a good starting point. Let's start with The Legend of Zelda, The Echoes of Wisdom.
And that was like dropped like the halfway point.
Yeah.
So when they started showing stuff after, I was like, they're not done yet. I thought that was going to be the big one.
Yeah, so
And this came out of nowhere.
So here's my take on this. I don't think anyone was expecting a new Legend of Zelda game, especially in this style.
Yeah, it's in the Link's Awakening remake style.
Yeah. First, let me just say, that's not. I don't like that art style at all. It's just.
I like it. It's cute.
It's cute. It's a little. It's one of those art styles that will probably help it last longer. But it's just one that doesn't appeal to me. Mm-hmm. But the game basically, what it kind of reminded me of is there's elements of Breath of the Wild of it and a lot of crafting and using items. But obviously the main caveat is Zelda's the main character.
Yep.
And
uses the wand, does a lot of like item summoning kind of thing.
Yeah. So
it looks very puzzle heavy.
I was gonna say I don't want to call it a puzzle game, but honestly, that's what I feel. It's more of a puzzle game than action, from what you would expect from Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
So I'm happy as shit for Legend of Zelda fans. This is one I would probably never play, just because, like I said, the style doesn't get to me, and because it's so puzzle heavy. Yeah. I'm not the biggest on puzzles.
I'm interested.
What do you think this is? Oh, I know for you, this is not day one buy.
No, not at all. But what these clever fucks did, excuse me, what these guys did is they also announced a Zelda-themed Switch. God! Did it again.
Keep going.
Did it again. So yes, they announced a Zelda-themed Switch. And they did it. They goddamn did it, Brian. As soon as I saw that, I went, that's how they beat the PlayStation numbers sold. The pay piggies, Brian. The piggies will pay, and they will pay. Zelda fans will not be denied. Switch variant collectors will not be denied. These are going to be guaranteed sales.
Yeah, but see, as we talked about with this, I think with these variants and that bullshit, I think there's always going to have to be an asterisk of like base units and then special editions.
Hey, PS2 had the base unit and they had the Slim. And they had variations,
That's
Brian. They got
two variations. How many variations of the Switch are there?
Doesn't matter.
I'm saying
same console.
I think there's always an asterisk.
Same
I
console.
think this is like, oh, you found out so and so was
PS4 Pro, same console.
You found out they were using steroids.
I want steroids back because that's when sports are at their best.
Right, but in history, you'll still be like, that shit was impressive.
What about an honor? No, I want performance.
But you're still gonna say an asterisk, right? You're gonna throw it out there. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey,
I don't care that much about Babe Ruth. Not that I love Barry Bonds, but I don't really care.
I'm just saying, Chambers.
Just let me see my dingers.
Yeah, Switch, you're an asterisk. That's all. It's fine.
PSV's an asterisk. It's just a DVD player.
It's a damn great asterisk, but it's an asterisk. PS2, you're undefeated.
Asterisk. Undefeated until it's defeated by the Switch.
It's undefeated.
So they started the show off with the new Mario and Luigi game, Brothership. I've never played any of them. It's been going since the GBA era. It's like, a lot of people who like Mario RPGs seem to like Mario and Luigi more. It's kind of like split down the line depending on what they like more. So I never played it, but I was like, oh, that's cool for those fans. So they got another one.
It's another game. It's not my style, but I see the appeal right away. Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool.
And the cell shading will mean that look of that game will just live.
It'll always, yeah.
Nintendo World Championships, they already previously announced this, so...
But watching that, what I love about it and what it appeals to me is the competition where you can...
Oh, that's right up your alley.
Yeah, like the speed running of like set a record. There were some of those I was like, ooh. Like, because
Doing
instead
it online, like the eliminations. With
doing
like
it
20 some people
online, eliminations, like that's 100% me. And I'm like...
Don't order the North American. It's bullshit because that replica cartridge in there doesn't work on an NES. So... If you're going to buy the actual physical, go to the Japan version because they get Joy-Cons out of it for the same price.
And here's the deal. As the reigning champion of the Nintendo World Championship Drinking Challenge,
yep.
I'm curious. Yeah, we'll see. Here's the deal. The one area where I did the worst in our competition was Tetris back in the day.
Well, I'm screwed.
But one that I was a little more interested in.
So like Fairy Tail 2, don't care. Fantasia,
Don't care.
Neo Dimension, don't care. Switch Sports, don't care. Mio looks cool, but kind of don't care.
Don't care.
Disney Illusion update, don't care. Bro, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, they did the meme. It took them 20 years, but they did the meme. They
Fuck
did the
that.
South Park joke.
It's so stupid.
No,
It's stupid.
it's stupid, yes, but they gave it to us, Brian. It's real.
All right, here's a random one.
Butters, new Brian.
That I think is potential that I like sports games.
Brian, Among Us updates?
No.
4 years after the meme?
Looney Tunes, that wacky world of sports. There's not enough sports games out there that aren't just straight simulation that I want return to arcade. I'm not saying this is going to be the one, but can we see goofy shit in sports again and make it fun? And I like the idea of that. I'm not going to say I hate
Anvil's
it.
dropping on you. I mean, as long as it doesn't play like complete crap and it's priced like a budget game.
It has to play good. Well, obviously.
This could just be an awful cash-in.
Oh, no. That's my fear is that it will turn to that.
There's like an 80% chance I'll say that it's that.
But like, take the idea of like Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Mario Party, and we'll get to that. But take those and just insert it into sports games with abilities, goofiness, like the games you and I really enjoyed, NBA Jam, Tecmo, but like make them very arcadey, but add some goofy abilities. People will eat that shit up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that will go anywhere, but that one I didn't go, oh, this is stupid. Not like Farmasia.
I actually thought that was kind of a cool
Shut
concept.
up.
I actually
Shut
liked
up.
the concept. You farm your monsters to fight your battles for you. It's kind of like Pikmin. It's kind
it's
of like
Pokemon.
Digimon. It's
Cool.
kind of like Pokemon. It's kind of like Monster Rancher, all wrapped into one. I like the concept. It's probably crap, but I like the concept.
Shut up. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
That was so funny because Drewski in the Discord, link to the Discord below, literally just posted that he beat it and that he hated the ending of that game. And the more he played it, the more he hated it. Which, granted, the motion controls probably have a lot to do with that. But, yeah, HD version of that.
I have a big problem with that art style. I love Donkey Kong Country.
It's on the Wii.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is this Return HD version, I don't know what it is about the style they're doing. I don't like it at all.
It's shiny?
Yeah, it's like, you know what it is? It's practical effects versus CGI, which is stupid to say in video games, I recognize. But the original Donkey Kong Country, I don't know what that style is.
That was like digitized bitmap art.
Yeah. That
Mortal Kombat shit.
Yes. That, I don't know. It looks so much better than this cartoony, too polished version. I don't like it. It's part of the reason why I had an issue with the styling of what they're showing for the new Streets of Rage. Like, I feel like it's too polished. I want a little, like, I don't know.
Want a little dirt?
Yeah. Give me a little dirt.
Yeah. Dragon Quest. These remakes.
Don't act like you care.
I'm not going to play them.
No, neither of us give two shits
Neither
about
of us
it.
are going to play them, but it's very cool that they're happening.
I love it for the fans.
Yes.
Yeah. Funkovision.
No.
Fuck. No.
No. Even though that'll probably be one of those like collecting games to get because of all the goddamn IPs, because the IPs will go, especially that many IPs. They'll be gone and the game will never be re-released.
And then
So for you collectors, you're going to have to buy that.
they'll sell special edition Funkos that like kind of like all the other bullshit where it's toys and games where you scan it in and this is the only way you're going to get it. Get the physical one, scan it in, play the game. You know that shit's going to happen.
Yep.
What the fuck is new Dempa, man?
That was stupid.
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. That's cool. I still need to play that. I need to play all of them, really.
So first game, loved. I have the third game I got for Christmas. Haven't played it yet. The second one, I was pissed when I found out it was only on 3DS. So I love that because, that's something my son enjoys watching me play the original. So I'll play the shit out of that.
I'm excited for that Metal Slug game because it's a tower defense and Metal Slug mixed together.
Metal Slug's great series.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah, and actually I saw that on Steam. I'll get it on Steam.
Yeah, it's probably better. I mean, I'll get it on Switch, so I actually play it.
Yeah, but Metal Slug, I don't think there's many misses in that franchise.
No, some are better than others, but there's no like disasters.
I want to get a good collection of Metal Slug. I don't know. I'm sure they're out there for plenty of systems. No.
Even the collections are a little expensive.
Are they really?
Yeah, there's like one during like the PS2 Wii era.
Still expensive as shit.
I want to say it's in like the $40 range, maybe.
You don't think there's like a Xbox or PlayStation collection that's like a...
Maybe some digital cheaper one. Or maybe on probably Steam.
Yeah.
It's probably your best bet.
Jim, just go out, buy me the originals.
Hey, right. Just go out and suck my ass.
Get me a Neo Geo and like it.
But yeah, updates to the online services with Metroid Zero Mission, which I'm excited for. I don't have that expansion because I don't feel like paying for it, but I do want to play Zero Mission one day. The remake of one. Apparently, like for a lot of people, that's their favorite Metroid. Turok, I never liked Turok. I never liked it even back in the day.
See, I love it's like most N64 games.
I hated playing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, I would go to my cousin's house. He had it. I remember like getting so excited. I couldn't get like 10 minutes past the first mission. I'm like, what the fuck is this game?
It's too confusing.
It's confusing. The maps are convoluted. Hunt dinosaurs and use weapons. Sounds cool. Terrible execution. So
yeah, you fucked it up. Perfect Dark, though. It's cool. Cool they put it on there.
Yeah, I like that. What is your feeling on the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting collection?
Awesome.
Really?
Because most of those games have been stuck and have been resold in like 15 years.
Well, I was going to say, minimum. So it's 7 games, right? So it's like Marvel 1, Marvel 2. Is it Marvel 3 as well?
I don't think Marvel 3 is on there yet.
Okay.
But like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, I think is on there. A bunch of those.
Children of the Atom, is that on there?
It might be. I'll look up a picture real quick. I'm pouring a beer. You're asking me as I'm pouring a beer, Brian.
But here's what I love that's so random.
The Punisher.
The Punisher of arcade.
Because you can only get that on like an arcade 1-up right now. If you want like the legit thing.
It's funny. I played it last year.
Well, yes, Brian. I'm sure you maimed it. Yes.
Yes.
I'm saying legitimately if you want to get it.
Do you need it legitimately, Jim?
No, I don't, but I'm also weird. So,
So, all those that red behind you when you're at your house, that could have easily been your new Xbox. All the limited run games.
You think I know that.
I'm just saying, instead of doing it legitimately, Jim, treat yourself to some free.
I am like Cartman at Fat Camp when he starts crying eating the brownie after he gets kicked out because I know what I'm doing is wrong.
I'm just trying to help you, Jim. That's all. Get you a new Xbox. Stop buying from limited run and stop buying stupid Switch shit that you can emulate. That's all. I'm just trying. Don't say I'm not on your side.
But yeah, no, Marvel vs. Capcom, that's huge for the fighting game community, that whole collection's coming out.
Do you think, because here's the deal, I feel like the people are still super hardcore into that are the same nerds that are like, it needs to be played on this type of controller, on this type of setting.
Oh yeah, like I'm sure playing it with the Joy-Cons is going to be a nightmare for anyone who's like remotely serious. Like, but those kind of people, one, they already have like probably a ton of fight sticks.
Yeah.
And like, there's like a lot of people are like, why would you get this when there's like Slamboree or I forget the hell it's called. It's like some kind of like service thing for fighting games.
Okay.
And it's like, yes, but normal people don't know about this.
No. So here's the deal. Do you think...
And it's also coming out for PS4 and Steam. Oddly enough, not Xbox.
Do you think the game's going to include buffs or nerfs to characters? Or do they keep it original?
It really depends on the arcade version they put in there.
That's why I'm curious. Because
like,
that's
they
what
already
people
said
bitch
like
about too.
They already said like MVC2 is using like the AC version and not the Dreamcast version. And they're like, yeah, there's minor different leveling and buffs and bouncing with that. So like this is all fighting game nerd shit that I don't have any clue about.
Yeah. Will Sentinel and Cable still be deadly?
Probably. there ain't no stopping those two, no matter what.
Yeah. No, I am such an advocate for collections of games. Same way I feel about beer. Like, honestly, I'm not going to buy a case of beer unless I know. And if you throw me a variety pack from a brewery I don't know, instant buy.
Oh, I always do variety packs. I know. Unless I'm like buying like a bunch of choruses for like a party, or just my like easy backlog. I never buy just a case of a craft beer.
And honestly, if there's an older game, I'll always look, is there a collection available? So I love this. Yeah. I'm all for it. Phantom Brave, don't know, I don't care. But the one you commented on, and I do think is a great idea, is the Super Mario Party Jamboree.
I love what they're doing with that.
'Cause how many players can you have?
I mean, besides the usual, like having like 4, maybe a little bit more for like when you do the normal mode, and they're adding in more online modes, and they added in a 20-player mode.
That's what,
rounds. That 20-player mode is something that series needs, because the online has always been bare bones, if anything, with Mario Party, and this just looks like such an easy way to bring people in to get your use out of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I equate it to like Mortal Kombat Armageddon or Deception, whichever one it was. I think it's Armageddon.
Had the car racing.
Like, yeah, well, no, add in every single mini game into one game and make it available to everyone. Now, I'm not saying it's doing that. I don't think it's doing that.
No, I mean, they brought back a couple of the old ones like they all do, and they have all their new tables and shit like that.
But that's what I'm saying. And especially in this environment, people are playing. Yes, obviously those games are much better played in person, but give the ability. Play as many folks as you can. 20 is great. Eventually get to a battle royale style where it's like, I don't know how you do it.
I think 20 is good because like it gives you that itch of battle royale without having to like plan for battle royale.
Yeah.
It's almost ingenious, really.
Yeah. No, I love it. But this, I have almost zero, if not zero, experience with Mario Party. This would be enough for me to want to join in and be like, all right, let's get a bunch of people together.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is not a gamer, and me and her put like 60 hours into Super Mario Party during lockdown.
Yeah.
And then probably like another 20 hours into the one that came after the Superstars Greatest Hits one.
No, I think
she'll play that with me, so I'll get my use out of that.
It's a great idea.
Before she fucking plays with me. Oh.
God damn it. So Chambers, it's funny. You introduced me to Lego series, and I think Lego games are underrated in how much fan service are in those. It doesn't matter.
I don't think
what
that's
you pick.
underrated at this point.
You don't think so?
For how much of the fan service is in there?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, like, yeah, if you want full fan, like back in the day, like playing Star Wars.
I mean, like,
Batman,
yeah, when I showed you that's funny to say that I introduced you to the series, which I did.
You did.
Because you played like 100 more games of those than I did.
Oh, yeah. But I also kind of felt like I thought they were basically all but dead. I haven't heard of a new Lego franchise because I feel like they covered Star Wars, Indiana Jones,
they haven't
Marvel,
been coming out
DC
as much as before because they used to do like 5 games a year.
Yeah,
for a while there. Like I picked up Lego DC Supervillains at Walmart because it was $5. I was like,
yeah,
I mean $5 I'll pick up anything.
You'll do it, yeah. Now I haven't played a Lego game in a while. I think the last one was one of the big Marvel ones.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I've aged out of it, but I kind of have. Like I've had my run of them.
You can only play so many of the same games.
Yeah. Times. But so now to see Lego Horizon Adventures, where I'm like, oh, like I didn't even give the concept of like
Horizon Zero Dawn on a fucking Nintendo system.
Well, that and just like
premier PlayStation IP on Nintendo.
Aside from the game, which I think is silly ass idea, whatever, get it on there. Here's what it opened up to me is, why not have a Lego Resident Evil franchise?
Yeah.
Like throw in the goofy horror, throw in it. It's kiddie friendly. Like I would buy that in a second. I don't know. Like, but that game, yeah, I don't give two shit. I played Horizon Zero Dawn, and you know my opinion on that.
Yep.
But no, I guess it is a big deal. Could this help confirm the idea of like Xbox willing to share IPs onto the Switch eventually? Maybe.
Maybe. Never say never.
I'll tell you one thing I don't give two flying fucks about. Stray coming to the Switch because I didn't care about it when it was on regular systems.
Yeah, we're about 2 years past that meme, so no one cares anymore.
Tales of the Shire.
Don't care.
Cool for Lord of the Rings fans. I don't care enough to play it.
Ace Attorney I've never played, so cool for the fans.
Don't care about Just Dance or the 100 line.
Yep. Romancing Saga, I know it has its fans. Another one I've never played, so the whole Saga series in general.
But let's say the other biggest, aside from Legend of Zelda and the Switch updates, Metroid Prime 4.
Yep.
So we've been talking about that being, could that be the thing for, I mean, I guess
The
technically,
successor.
you know, like what was Switch 2 going to come with that could be the big thing? What I will say is I think most of the games we mentioned will just automatically be like Switch 2 updates, you know?
You would hope.
All right.
Nintendo's not known for that.
I have no experience with Metroid Prime.
Yeah, me neither.
So here's the deal. When I watched that trailer, I thought they were showing footage from Metroid Prime 3. Because I was like, oh, this seems like they're probably showing that, and then they're going to show Metroid Prime 4. And then I was like, they didn't show Prime 4. And I was like, oh, no, that was Prime 4.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a style. But when was Metroid Prime 3 was the Wii? Switch, you got to give me something a little more.
Well, they did the HD remake of Metroid Prime 1 on the Switch.
I'm only talking about Metroid Prime 4. I'm talking graphically. It doesn't seem much stronger than a Wii game. Like
It's stronger than a Wii game. It's way stronger than a Wii game.
Because I went back and I looked at the Wii game and I went, the HUD's a little cleaner. The lighting effects are a hair better, but it's like a half step better. It's not like,
I think you're severely underselling it.
I'm saying from watching footage from one to the next, I literally put them side by side and I went, ooh, this is not a 2-generation jump. That's my problem. Like, this is a PS1 to PS2. This is not a PS1 to PS3 jump, is my point. That's just the way I view it. Like, it's nothing about the gameplay. The game looks cool. It looks like a Prime.
I think it doesn't help in that sense that they are still stylized, even though they're like more realistic looking and shit like that, or try to be stuff like that.
I don't know if it's too stylized to hold it back. Like, all the other games talk about stylized is good for the age. Yeah, like you're going for, you're an FPS, you're in a Metroid world. I don't know. Like, I feel like it could have been a shade or two better.
It's weird. It'll be like, well, I mean, it's a brand new game, so it's not going to have that like back and forth kind of thing. Like, because I remember when the Halo had its 10-year anniversary on the 360. There was a button in there. It was one of the first games to do it, where you could hit select and it would put you back in the original Xbox graphics.
Yeah.
So as I was playing it, I was like, this looks good, but I don't think this is that much of a remake. And then you would hit that button and go, oh. So it could kind of be a thing here, too.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying just from the little trailer, when I was watching Metroid Prime 3, I just went, it's better, without a doubt. But like I said, there's something mentally where I'm like, yeah, you had 2 generations and all this time. It's not like Switch. We just talked about how long has Switch been out?
2017, so 7 years.
7 years plus. It's a 2-generation.
At the, like one of the first Nintendo Directs.
So that's my point. Is like it's a 2-generation gap on top of a crazy amount of time between those generations. That game doesn't read that much time for me. It kind of looks like that probably could have been released on the Wii U. I'm just graphically, nothing about the gameplay.
Yeah, maybe graphically. I mean, yeah, they could have a slight, because everyone's going, this looks too good to be a Switch game. So they didn't say it's coming for the Switch. They just said
they're
it's
saying
coming
2025.
to Switch in 2025. So it could be a launch game. It
for
could
a Switch too. Yeah.
It could be the, what do you call it, like what Breath of the Wild did and come out on both.
I think it'll, like to your point, sell more units.
Yeah. And what do you call it? I mean, it could be a thing where it just like, maybe they look similar between the two consoles, but like it's going to run 1,000 times better on the new one too.
What I would love is, if they have Switch 2, show like even more up. I don't know. Like there was just something about it. I'm not even saying it's looking bad. I'm just saying
it's not. It did impress you.
Yeah, but no. Hey, from a gameplay, people have how long have they been begging for this shit? I mean, since the Wii,
forever.
So I'm happy as shit that you finally got that.
Especially since like it's kind of gone through development hell because like the original people they had work on it, like they just got rid of. So
yeah.
Team Ninja or whatever, Ninja Theory, whoever they are, I forget the name. They had to come in, the original people, they had to come in and start from scratch, basically. So, like, that 7 years wasn't a full 7 years either.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting which of these games. I think Metroid Prime is the best example that it could come out for Switch 2, which they finally announced, even though we all kind of knew it was coming. Mm-hmm. But did they say even year, quarter?
I think their old tweets, they said 2025, but they said nothing else.
Yeah, so they're still just ambiguous 2025.
Yeah. They'll probably do what they did with the Switch one and just be like, Shadow Drop's coming out in 2 months at a Nintendo Direct early next year. That's what I would expect. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still... I'm just very cautious on what is the gimmick going to be that you can add on top of it's your only mobile. It's like you already handled your mobile with it. I hope you fix your fucking Joy-Cons because those things are uncomfortable as shit. Yeah, so you got to keep a screen. Like, do you think they make a bigger screen, almost more like an iPad? Like, I don't know, because you got to keep something that's good for your hands. So, yeah. I don't know what the gimmick is going to be. I'm very curious. Yeah. I hope it's something that doesn't fuck it up. They're going to be like, oh, this is a great idea. No, it's not. I don't know.
They are prone to that, so I don't know. At this point, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Because, like, Metroid Prime 4, like, everyone kept talking about it, but I was like, that shit ain't coming out. And boom, Shadow dropped. I never expected the Zelda game that's coming out. So, like, they're still just pulling shit out of their ass that, like, no one had any idea was coming.
No, yeah, to my point. And I think it is kind of like...
And Nintendo, they might have had the best presentation of the past 2 weeks for, like, what they announced. Like, Xbox's was really good.
So...
I think Nintendo's got me more excited.
I see.
PlayStation's was awful.
Well, here's the deal. PlayStation worst. The thing with Xbox is... Nintendo, I think, regardless of what they're willing to announce, the fanboys are like jizzing over all of it. I think they offered new games, but none of them actually excited me. Like, I'm like, oh, that's cool for the fans. Mm-hmm. There's like 2 of them, but really it was like Marvel vs. Capcom and Metal Slug.
Right. And both of them aren't even going to be exclusive.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, eh. Whereas Xbox, I was like, oh, you showed me games that I think could be Game of the Year. So I still think Xbox did better. I think Nintendo, this was their best showing in many years.
Yeah, I don't think they showed anything Game of the Year wise, but
yeah. But Nintendo fans will obviously say they're the best. I would love for even a PlayStation fan to try to defend that fucking showcase. But yeah, no, I think Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation.
Yeah, fine, fair.
And I'm always right, so... Jim, drink your watermelon. How are you liking it?
You know what? I think I'm liking this the best one.
That's why I said the most flavorful, right? As I finished it, it never lost its flavor. Still flat, but it's a watermelon Jolly Rancher.
That's exactly what it is. That is the best one by far so far.
And so far, sipping the orange one.
Far so far. Good wording, Jimmy.
The orange one is it tastes. There's an orange Jolly Rancher, right?
Yeah, I think there's an orange Jolly Rancher for everything.
I like watermelon better than orange, so I think watermelon's better, but this is similar in it tastes like a candy. If that makes sense.
All right.
So, Chambers, tell me about Vimms Lair, and tell me what happened with them.
Well, Vimms Lair got its pee-pee spanked, and for anyone out there who doesn't know what it is, Vimms is like one of those ROM sites that's been around for a very long time, and it has like an extensive collection.
Yeah.
But it always kind of flew under the radar of a lot of the other ones. But recently, it just got slapped by a bunch of different companies to get their shit off there. And it has been like every single thing but there's been a lot. And on its face, it's like, well, oh shit, another ROM site got hit. Like, there's no story there. Like, it happens every couple months at this point. The weird thing is, for me, and why it's interesting, is like the argument that came from it. And the argument about this is basically gamers who have been like around the ROM scene game for a long time are very pissed at like TikTokers and new emulators, mostly because of like the Delta emulator and all the new emulators that have finally been coming to iPhone. Because now with all these, I talked about it a couple weeks ago, it's like, oh cool, I can just go to a website on my browser, just search Google for, fucking Solar Striker ROM. I go to a site, I can download it right to my phone, and I can play it on that emulator. So people have been making these videos and TikToks, spreading the news about where they can find these things to fill up their phones. And that brought new attention to a site. And, now it got the attention of the bigwigs who went, fuck you, get that shit off there.
Yeah, this is a product so good that it was undeniable. And to your point, there's the blessing and the curse, right? A lot of people would never have even... I didn't. Of all the shit we've ever emulated...
I don't remember ever going there.
I've never been there, so...
No, that was a dark web darling, I guess.
Yeah, so I didn't know about it, so... It was popular enough to get banned, but like things like cool ROMs are still out there.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yeah, I'm still extremely of the opinion of if you're multiple generations, which a lot of these ROM sites are, like they won't even touch PS2 games. Does it hurt anyone to emulate, to have ROMs, to have things that can emulate on your phone? Like, the developers are not being hurt by NES games being emulated. Now, I know with online services, they want to offer it, blah, 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 blah. But come on, man. Like, you're really not being hurt by emulation when you're that many generations old. So there's part of me...
These companies have the right to protect their intellectual property.
They do. Yeah. They're, this is where it goes to, you have rights and you have what's right. Someone who can't afford shit, a college student, not college student, like who just wants to play a game, it's unreasonable to be like, well, go out, buy the original system, hope it works, find someone who's going to overcharge you at a game store, which I went to the other day in a fucking, not New Hope.
Doylestown?
Doylestown.
Did you go to CGR?
I did. I went in there and I went, oh no. Oh no. Like I was looking at the prices. I was like,
anything in the glass case that has a name has the same symptom every other video game.
My son was with me, and
that's where they make the money.
He's like, "Can we get this?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Listen, I get it. You're a brick and mortar store. You got to pay rent. You got whatever.
You got to milk the games people actually buy."
Yeah, yep. But the prices I saw, I was like, "We're not getting anything here, bud. I'm sorry." Like, and he said it loud enough. It was so funny. They have like loose discs, like PS1, PS2, whatever discs, even Xbox 360, but just in sleeves. Yeah. And it was like their 10 and under bin. So I was like, let me look at this. And he's like, Dad, why are these all sports games? Do people play them this much? I was like, no, bud. I said, that's what the only ones that are cheap. But he like said, as an innocent kid, just like, why are these all sports games?
Gotta love that 7-year-old honesty.
Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, no, that's
and he was right.
The guy behind the counter is on his laptop. And but like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like there hasn't been a game store I've gone to where I'm like, I know I'm not about to be bent over the barrel, and I get it. You're a business. But to ask a random person to do that, get a system, all this, and say, can you emulate fucking a random miscellaneous Monster Party for the NES that isn't available anywhere else? That's not hurting anybody.
Yeah. But yeah, so where do you stand, Brian? Are you mad at the TikTokers and the gamers for ruining yet another ROM site, or are you someone who's not stupid and you go, I mean, they would have found it eventually.
No, I'm not mad. I encourage it because, okay, Vimms.
It sucks what happened to it.
It sucks what happens to it, but you know what? I look at like the Hydra thing, which is now people are going to recognize there's a clear appetite. Whoever's running Vimms will probably open up a new website with a different name. And
it's not shut down. It still has a lot of ROMs on there.
Yeah.
Just like specific things are targeted from the big companies there.
And here's the deal. This is where what we talked about earlier, you want to be a shitty journalist, you want to be someone who lives in drama, you want to be someone who runs a site that does emulation and ROMs, you know you're playing with fire. Don't be Icarus. Don't get too close to the sun. That's all I'm saying.
ROM sites, the ultimate wokey chud, all wrapped in one.
Here's my question. Do you think, I've never been to Vimms, we've established that, are they making money, do you think, like actually doing like ads or is like sponsors, or do you think like, I'm curious like how they make their money?
I could have gone there and seen, but that would be research and effort.
Because I'm curious like the legitimacy of that. Like if they just have Google AdSense or something to that effect where it's like just put up your ads, do you think they get checked and then kind of balanced on like how they make money? Or maybe they have like, hey, if you want to donate, and they just rely on that?
I mean, I guess we could look it up.
No, I'm just curious in general, like with those sites, like that's one of those.
You know what? That's how some do it, and that's how some get in trouble, is because some of them will keep certain things behind the paywall.
Well, that's where you fuck up right away. As soon as you, I know.
I just became a stereotype from the 60s.
I'm so used to Chambers.
The Mountain Dews are kicking in, people.
Chambers talk where I know what he's saying.
Oh, the paywall.
See?
See? Look at the games on that game. This Mountain Dew beer is pretty good, see?
So...
All right, so quick look. I am not seeing any ads on the front page. Many games from the vault on behalf of Nintendo, Sega, Lego, and the ESA. While most of these and the hardware to play them haven't been sold in decades, ultimately is their prerogative, so these games are now gone for good. These are posts from on there.
Well, my point of asking that is, despite how terrible...
Oh, and they also have a free-for-all links page, which is... Dude, I don't see anywhere to even donate here. So
which affirms what I'm about to say. Which I believe there's a lot of folks who do shit like this.
I mean, there's like one ad on there, so
that you're not doing it for the profit. You're literally doing it because like it's a true interest, and you're doing it for the best intent of I want people to experience these games. Which I'll promote that all day long. Do that all day long. So Vimms, I'm sorry you're the one that got busted. You got too popular for your own good, but keep it up. And I don't blame TikTokers or anyone making it viral, because open up people's eyes. I think there's still the large majority of folks out there who have no idea about emulation on your phone, emulation, whatever. I had a buddy of mine who like wanted to build a custom cabinet for his son. He's like, I don't know where to get ROMs. I was like, give me a USB.
Yeah.
I'll help you out.
I took care of this in 2009.
Yeah, well, exactly. So, yeah, I'm all for it. Keep that going, guys. That's all I'll say.
Went down way too fast.
Yeah. Do not be mad at TikTokers, because you know what that means? If TikTokers do it, that's a whole generation of people who are appreciating classics.
Yeah. It might have just created more preservationists out there. So they're on your side.
Yeah. It's never a bad thing for discovery.
It's like the game collectors who always bitch about YouTubers who are like, oh, they told people about these hidden gems and now everyone's buying them. It's like, I mean, that's kind of a good thing. People know about these games now. Just because you want to gatekeep the prices, like, go fuck yourself.
Kind of like band nerds who are like, oh, I liked them better when they were Indian. They weren't popular. And now everyone likes them. Shut up. God.
Yeah. God, I wish I was popular enough to sell out. Oh, God, do I wish I could sell out.
Jim.
I would like nothing more.
You remade an indie darling like you want to.
Oh, I'm an indie darling. Hey, Sponge used my drum set, all right?
Jim.
Because he couldn't fit his $18,000 one through the door.
Jim.
So he couldn't risk it.
Jim, you don't want all the acclaim that Nickelback has and being hated.
I would kill to be Nickelback. You know what? They were hated and a meme, but you know what else they were? They sold more fucking albums than anyone for 10 goddamn years.
And their name will be remembered forever.
That's goddamn right.
You know, versus the random metal band that's like, oh.
Chad Kroger. His name was Chad. It's never wrong.
I mean, look at his photograph. He's an animal.
Just move on. Yes.
He's an animal.
Yes, before we get into all these. I'll name like 5 WWF Raw themes in a row from like the early 2010s.
I still talk about bands that hate it. Creed, My Sacrifice, whatever. I forget which pay-per-view they use that.
They use that for like 4 pay-per-views.
But there was one in particular with like Rock and Stone Cold was really going hard.
Arms wide open.
Yeah, like Dude, those promos went harder than any promo in WWE history, is all I'm going to say. And you know I'm right, so shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Is the band kind of gay? Yeah. Was it great? Fuck yeah.
Did you get goosebumps watching Jeff Hardy do the Swanton as you hear Scott Staff or whatever his name is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Scott Stapp.
You enjoyed it, so shut the fuck up.
Oh.
AEW wishes it has that. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, they could up their production.
So, Chambers, as our final topic tonight, as we are powering through these Mountain Dews, which
Jesus Christ,
they are going down. I'm going through this I'm like, fuck, I'm going through these fast. PlayStation VR2 players. We talked about, number one, the VR2 underselling like a motherfucker. They had to stop production because they weren't selling.
Ain't no one buying them.
A little bit of good news. Players are able to access a lot of games on PC, specifically through Steam, with an adapter starting on August 7th. Now, I think this is a really good idea. I think the VR2 needs as much help as it can get.
Yes.
Because still it's not selling so well, James.
It is hurting. There have been no stories of it recovering.
And here's the deal. We've talked about this. VR needs all the help it can get. I don't know where it's going to go, if it's going to ever truly take off, but the only way it will is if there's true adaptability between all the VR games that are out there. Because like
this shit just looks like juice. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, dude!
Oh my
does.
god! Look at this! Look at this!
It's as orange as it gets. Take a sip. Watch. It's orange Jolly Rancher.
Yep.
And it goes down smooth.
Oh man.
The zero sugar and all
they're
these,
only 100 calories,
which is crazy because what are
like most seltzers are around 100.
Well, Michelob Ultras are like 95, and they're supposed to be the low calorie
like
version.
Yeah.
So
Yingling flights are like 90.
for 100 calories, you're like, how? It tastes sweet as shit.
Yeah, you don't get that like tinny bullshit taste from like most seltzers too.
And even though I'm on my fourth one, it's not sitting heavy.
No, not at all.
No, still flat. I will say, still flat, but flavorful.
When we were recording earlier, I'd use one of the gay beers, and like those sit heavy, but like I'm not hurting right now.
And just to be clear, he means literally the gay beer.
It's called gay beer,
not just a gay beer.
Fucking go a couple videos back for when we did our taste test. It's called gay beer.
It's called the gay beer. You're like, what, Bud Light?
No, gay.
Here's my question. We've talked about the VR2. I've said I actually am interested in getting a VR headset. If there was one that could bridge a gap and really play a lot of games, what's a price point you'd feel comfortable? Not saying you'd feel comfortable really with any, but like what's a reasonable one where you'd go if you know it performs well and had a crazy library of games?
For like a headset?
For the VR, yeah. 200?
I was going to say like 250. I think that'd be like the max.
Because what was it originally? It was 500 or 550?
Yeah, it was like about the same price of getting just a PS5.
Of getting a PS5. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I agree with you. I think this will be a secondhand buy. I could see us being something like, hey, Christmas time, I know you can get a VR headset secondhand for $200, $250. I'd buy it.
And this adapter is only $60.
Yeah, it's not much at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not terrible. And like, there's like two things to this. One, but yeah, so first off, you know what this reminds me of right away? The PlayStation TV module, which was an adapter for the Vita to play your Vita on the TV.
On the TV, yeah.
And it was a very niche game for a niche console that bombed. And now, if you want to buy one of those, it's like 200 some bucks. So I could, like, it's coming out for the PSVR2, which no one has. So I can easily see this being almost kind of along the lines like the PlayStation Portal, which I don't think is also selling that well.
Yeah.
Of being one of those things that's like, it's a little pricey now, but it'll be way pricier in the future because no one's buying it.
Yeah.
Like, it'll have its phase where, like, they just liquidate it. But, like, you better get it fucking then, because if not, the secondary market's just going to boost that shit up. And also, PlayStation fans were a little pissed about it. PC fans were just like, fucking PlayStation's thrown in the towel. It's just another way that they're throwing their games onto the PC at this point. which the PS5 diehards are already pissed about.
Which,
and the PSVR fans are going to be pissed about because it's now like, oh, well, you took away like the exclusive. I mean, they should be happy because now it opens them up to more games on PC because they don't have that much on PlayStation.
This is the same nerds who would be mad that people found out about Vimms, emulation, whatever. It's like, stop wanting your exclusive little club that nobody gave two fucks about. If it opens up, all it's going to do is now if there's ability for Steam games, guess what? Developers will be like, oh, I can make more shit for your particular thing. Like, it's a good thing to open it up to more folks.
Yeah.
So if you're pissed about this, you're pissed about the wrong things in life. That's all I'm going to say.
More team sports. You just want to be your little PlayStation boy.
Yeah. Fuck that. That's stupid.
But yeah, I mean, this is one of those things like my dumb ass would be like, I might just buy it just to have it, even though I might not even ever have a headset. But in like 15 years, I'll be like, hey, who's got a $300 accessory he doesn't need? The real question will be then, will I ever sell it? That's the real question. But I'll have it.
I hate that that's true. Like, I could see you being like, I'm going to get the Game Boy printer. You don't even have the original Game Boy.
Right. I have a Steam controller that I got on liquidation for $5. And I was at a thrift store and I saw them selling it for like $80. And I was like, there's no way that's right. And you go on eBay and they're selling for like 60 to 100. And I'm like, in what fucking world is the awful Steam controller worth that much money? But another failed piece of technology that no one bought at the time. And now it's one of those curiosities.
And Jim is like,
I have a sealed Stadia Founder set.
I remember.
I'm not opening that bullshit. But one day someone's going to want them a Stadia Founder set.
No, here's what's going to happen. One day you'll be like, I think it is time to get rid of this. And I'll be like, you know what? We're really releasing the Stadias. And you're going to be like, no! I could have sold it for a few hundred. Now it's worth 10. Fuck.
No, my retirement.
Listen, you and I, obviously, we love the obscure. You dive super deep into the obscure that you can't even use.
Dude.
And it's just, that's the collector mentality of you, Chambers. That's the beauty of it. I don't worry about the collection of it. I'm like, am I going to have fun with it? Am I going to enjoy it?
It's not just a collection. Sometimes I get that like stupid just-in-caseness of it.
I get it. There's FOMO.
Right. I have an adapter. I have a video out adapter for the Atari Jaguar to have a Super NES output, so I could get RGB video through those HD Retrovision cables for an Atari Jaguar, a system that I will probably never own.
Not probably. You've made it very clear you have zero intention.
I'm not paying the money that they want.
We've talked about that. We've talked about systems that we would potentially own, and you've made it pretty clear. Jaguar is not one of them.
I am a sick, stupid man, but I've got these things.
There's, like I said, there's a difference between like the mentality with you and I is we walk through a Goodwill, for example. You'll be like, ooh, that could be something that you see several where I'm like,
do I want this? And I'm just like, that might be something.
Yeah, like if like I'm already honestly with my game collection, I've already thought like there's probably a good amount of games I'm probably just gonna try and sell because I know I'm never gonna play them again.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like you look at your game collection, you're like, I might have a duplicate of that, but what if that one goes bad? You're like, I know I don't need two of this, but this one's in better condition, and I play that one, and what if that one...
So I'm not like that, but I do have these days where I'm just like, I just need to get rid of this. Someone please just give me like 12 grand and just take this all from me. But then when I'm sitting there and I'm sitting in my game room playing Fallout, and I'm just like, kind of looking around, I'm like, I like myself.
This is, no, you enjoy, here's the deal. What I would argue is, and that's honestly, I think it's my problem with the Switch collection that you and other people, modern people have, which is you still, it helps, it feeds that collection mentality, but so many of those games, honestly, in age-wise, are going to be such throwaway games where you're like, I played it once 10 years ago. I don't give two fucks about it. You should probably turn around and just be like, I'm going to sell all 3 Switch games for every new one I get. Because you know that a lot of that library, you're like, I played it. It was fine. I don't care enough about it.
Yeah.
Retro games, I kind of look at differently because you haven't collected in a while.
The Switch will be retro.
Yeah, but you're not going to care about it then.
Who's to say?
I'm saying. I think you'll still care about what we consider retro.
I'll probably be dead by then.
I think you would still care more about TurboGrafx or NES, Super NES. I think Switch fuck.
Here's the thing. I actually weirdly don't give a shit at all about the NES or Super NES.
Well,
I have a decent amount of games for both.
All right, Genesis, TurboGrafx.
There you go.
Yeah. I think you will that'll be in your heart, and I think you probably have ones that they're priced crazy that you're like, I still want this one game. I don't think you'll ever get there with Switch. I don't think you'll get there even with the Wii.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, most Wii shit's garbage anyway, so, like, I think the really obscure shit for the Wii is a lot of bad, so...
Yeah, so...
Even I don't... I'm not a full set collector, so I luckily don't give a shit about that.
That's why there's that part of me that I can appreciate the digitization of modern games, because I feel like they're already in a place where so many games are out where you're like, they're not going to age great. I played them. I don't need the physical collection. So, trying to help you, Chambers. Consolidate that collection.
I mean... I should.
Buy me a PSVR2. That's all I'm saying.
Buy me shit.
Buy me stuff,
Take
Jim.
me dancing.
Fine.
Take me dancing and I'll buy you.
Fine. Buy me a Neo Geo so I can play Metal Slug.
Well, you better be a good dancer.
Oh, I can get down. Surprisingly, I'm nimble for my size.
I don't know about for your age anymore.
Listen, I might hurt the next day, but I can still do it. So, Chambers, analysis of the hard Mountain Dews. They somehow got way easier as the time went on.
Yeah, don't start your night with these, but after like 1 or 2 drinks, these are candy, and you will plow through these. Like, I was halfway through my second, and I was like, "Hey, look at me, pacing myself, doing good here."
You were going pretty slow.
I was going pretty slow, and then I hit this little threshold, and it was like this. Oh,
it was good. Yeah,
and I was just like, "Uh-oh." Like, I mean, look, they're not amazing, and you have to go into with the sober mindset when you're drinking them.
Yep.
Because, like, you're going to drink them and be like, yeah, it's like a flat soda. It's got a little bit of booze in it. You don't taste the booze at all.
No.
But once you're a couple drinks in, yeah, those are dangerous.
I would say watermelon's my favorite, followed by Baja, then orange and green.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, green, I don't know if it's because it was the first one I had, but...
That was weak.
It was just, the flavor was meh. It was like a flat. Whereas the other ones, like, yes, they were still flat, but there was a lot more to it. Even though I said I wouldn't buy them again, I wouldn't turn them down. Like, if I was at a party and somebody had them, I'd be like, oh yeah, you got the watermelon or Baja? Like, I would probably reach for those.
Yeah, I would know which ones to go for, but I want to be like, oh, I'm not touching that shit. I was like, oh yeah, I'll drink that.
I honestly, maybe it's a little too cavalier.
How are they 100 calories each? I just... Wizardry. I don't get it.
I think when we get the other variety pack, that's Baja and whatever other flavors, I honestly think these are going to be very easy to differentiate, even blindfolded.
Probably. Yo, if they have a pitch black one, oh god, my favorite Mountain Dew flavor.
I don't think they do. Just like they don't have a code red, which I don't know how you do that.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Then again, code red hasn't been around since 2012.
No, it's been around since long.
Has it? Was it? I thought it was.
It has
long
been a little
time
while
ago.
I'm gonna look this up now.
But yeah, it's not terrible.
I'll do important research.
So here's the deal. When Jim and I started to say, it's funny, one of the beers hard drinks we really liked was Not Your Father's Root Beer, which I haven't had in a long time, and I actually kind of miss. So these hard sodas, I'll take these over seltzers any day. I know Jim is a seltzer bitch.
No, I like these more than seltzers.
Yeah. Really not bad. So if you like Mountain Dew at all, you might enjoy these. And if you don't like beer, the carbonation is non-existent.
Yeah, there's very little. There's enough to be fizzy when you open it up, but it's not like one of those like, oh god, I'm so bloated now kind of feelings.
Yeah. So.
All right, phone's not working. Fuck it.
So with that, everyone, we want to say thank you so much. If you've been watching, please make sure you hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button so you can see all of our latest videos. As we said at the beginning of the episode, we are going to be releasing the Dragon Ball Z tier maker list, and as well as the Toilets in Wonderland. I can't wait for you guys to hear that. But if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, hit the subscribe button. If you give us a 5-star rating, we'll read each and every one of your comments, even if you want to blast us. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.